Hello, everyone. This is my project pitch for EMS 180. I'm going to be pitching materials for an aircraft propeller. My name is Adrian Munoz. So before we get into the project pitch, I want to talk a little bit about myself. I go by he, him for pronouns. I'm currently a fifth-year aerospace science and engineering student. I'm doing a minor in material science and engineering. That's the reason I'm in this class. This is actually one of the last classes I need for the minor. I've already taken three, so this will be my fourth one. Some fun facts about myself is that I like to go camping. I've gone camping every year for the past 4 years. I've gone to places in Northern California, such as Grizzly Flats, Forest Hill, and Pollock Pines. Next, I also like to go hiking, very related. Usually not in the winter, but every other season's okay. Some nearby places include Stevens Trail and Stebbins Cold Canyon Trail. And if you're ever up in Hawaii, then the Pali Coast Trail is really nice as well. On the photo on the right, you can actually see it there. It's the bottom photo. Whereas camping, I think that was last year when we were in Pollock Pines. And then lastly, another thing about myself is I enjoy cooking, especially Italian food, such as chicken parm and basil pesto. I'm always open to cooking more things, especially when it comes to anything Italian. And I've been doing that also for a few years as well. But enough about me. What do I want to pitch? So for this class, I wanted to pitch the idea of an aircraft propeller for the project proposal. As a lot of you know, the purpose of propellers for aircraft, specifically airplanes, are to generate thrust. This allows for airplanes to move forward for all stages of flight, such as takeoff, cruise, and landing. Why is it interesting? Uh, for those technical nerds out there, it is the reason why you get most of your thrust from both turboprop and piston engines. Piston engines are, of course, the oldest kind of airplane engine, but these still use propellers. And then a newer version, which you can see on the top image, are turboprops, which are kind of like a hybrid engine. And related to these images are actually the materials. That's part of the reason I found this so interesting. There have been plenty of materials used over the years. Originally, we used wood, as you can see on that bottom image, but later on, we've moved on to steel, aluminum, and even composites. And the best part is it allows the plane to fly. That's very important. So those are my three reasons for why I find it to be so interesting. And then lastly, in accordance with the translation that we need for these projects, some possible constraints I thought of for this aircraft propeller would be one, cost. Um, I think that's a large reason why so many different materials have been used over the years. Another one that most people don't think of is actually size. So especially for those larger propellers, such as the ones on top, you need to keep in mind ground clearance. And you also don't want your propellers too low to the ground to where not even, where things can fly up and start damaging them. And then next is the number of blades. The number of blades is very important, and there actually is a limit for how much you want based on efficiency. You can see the difference between the bottom and the top image. And then one thing that most people forget is actually noise. While they might not be as loud as jet engines, noise is still a very important consideration for propellers, and that will be the last constraint I thought of. But yeah, this is my project proposal for EMS 180. Thank you for your time.